with, and as to we had to take some dimensions to do a upgrade for an atomizer on a boiler on a burner there at the Hudson generating station. So we flew out of Akron, Canton. I think the flight was like at 7:30, 7 o'clock, and within an hour we're in Newark, New Jersey. Well, we ended up, getting out of the airport and taking a taxi over to the power plant. I think we were at the power plant a whole half hour, getting our dimensions we needed and information we needed. And then we were done. So we had the whole remainder of the day until 7 o'clock in the evening when our flight left to come back home to Akron. And we got back home about 8 in the evening. So we just took the day, and the engineer we went with, he went to school there in New York City. So he knew the layout pretty well. So we just made a day of it. He took us all around, he knew his way around real well, and he knew how to travel as well, where you went, where you didn't go. And he said, we left the power plant. He said, all right, come on, guys. We're going to go see New York City. So I remember we went up in the World Trade Center, and we went up there. I got a bunch of pictures I took from up above. What a sight. And I remember there in the morning, we were standing there at the plaza at the bottom. And mind you, this is early. This is probably 9:30, 10:30, somewhere around there in the morning. And I remember looking up from the plaza, looking up at the top of the World Trade Center, and I could remember I could not see the top because there was a layer of clouds. There was a low cloud layer that was low enough that it obscured views from seeing the top. And then, of course, that elevator ride going up to the top definitely took a while. But yeah, we were fortunate enough we were able to get up there and go on top of the World Trade Center and take some pictures. And I remember the pictures back then. I took. If you remember back in the day, slides, Kodachrome slides were popular. So I took slide pictures, and then I had some converted to prints, But I remember taking the one, and I took a picture of the Empire State Building from top of the World Trade Center, and it's like you're looking down on it. It was amazing to think, that was the thing back in the day, and now I am here, standing up here, and I'm looking down on it like a little kid, But yeah, that was a pretty impressive day we had, and then he took us up through Central Park, and then we had the deli sandwich there. That's popular. And then there was a place on, I think it was up on 13th Street, or I forget what street it was. It was off of the main Broadway, one of them side streets. And there was a place called Beefsteak Charlie's. And they were known as a steak place. And they had, beer and shrimp. And I remember we had a filet mignon, and we had shrimp, and then several pitchers of beer, and it cost us next to nothing. Of course, that was back, like I said, that might have been the late 80s, early 90s. Man, we just got full. That was the last thing we had was the dinner there at Beefsteak Charlie's. And I think I was talking to somebody not too long ago on the radio, familiar with that area, and I think he said that that place is still in business. But I don't know if you did anything in New York City or not. But that was a good day trip. Then we got in the taxi and got back over to the airport and got on our plane and was home by sundown. So that was a pretty good afternoon for. And that was on the company. WB8RNY, W8 Golf Bravo.
W8 Golf Bravo, W8RNY. Not really. Our shift was 12 hours, and I pulled the midnight to 12 a.m. shift. So it wasn't a good shift at all. And I'm the guy in the yellow, if you're looking at the picture, in yellow rain smock on. It had rained the morning, and I was doing a debrief at the time, and got called out by my commander, and so I just grabbed everything, threw that on, because I thought we had to go catch our bus that we took to the ward outpost area where we were staying. And no, it was to get that picture. So I'm the canary with the yellow rain smock on. But that stint there was 21 days, the first stint. My second stint was 30, and my third stint was closed down operations. So I did 3 tours of duty up there. But that's only some of the places. Did Katrina, did Andrew, did Bankers 50 conference, did inauguration, State of the Union, trying to think what else. Worked a whole bunch. So we were on call and would fly out. I did one that we were on emergency flight, and I got the call to report in. My flight was scheduled for 1 hour. It takes me 20 minutes to get into work, 20 minutes to get home. I had to get changed, take a quick shower, and get my gear packed. And command goes, you'll make the flight. The flight is not leaving until you get on there. And I said, oh yeah. So I flew home, and my wife had already packed my gear bags, and my ready-to-go bags was all set. It's just getting my regular bags packed, and she had done all that. Took the shower, got out, got dressed. I walked into the airport, and 2 people from Delta said, is your name Gerald Gomes? And I said, yep, follow me. And I went right up. I mean, they took care of me. I went right to the front of the line. They took my bags, tagged them, and then I took them through security, and right to the aircraft with all my bags and gear. And I had packed my gear that has to go in the belly, and they carried it through the airport, and I'm just looking at them. You know what's in there. The VP from Northwest goes, yes, sir, we know what's in there, and that's why I'm escorting it through. I'm going to give it to the captain, and he will lock it up, and you'll get it when you get off, and you'll have to carry it through the airport. So, and I got to the airplane, and it was still there, about an hour late from takeoff. And the captain says, is this the person we're waiting for? And the Delta Flight VP goes, yep. And he says, well, thank God you finally made it. And I walked in the airplane, and I'll tell you, you want to see steers and stairs and daggers, that's what you got. But they had set the flight up for a priority, so instead of flying commercial airspace, we flew military airspace. And we made it to where we had to go 5 minutes before it was supposed to land. And he was vectored a direct flight and military airspace. I got off, and the captain comes in, shook my hand, he says, I never had such coordination going on. And he says, I don't know who you are, but thank you for your service. And that's all he said to me. And I just got off the plane and kept quiet. Over.
Yeah. Well, tell me something. Were you involved in the logistics at the site?
Yep. I was. I actually held 3. My billet is 3 billets. I'm a communications officer. I'm a accountable property officer. That's an asset control officer. And I have another section too that I do work, but I'm basically was 3 different billets for my portion of the team.
Okay, and so once you got to the to wherever you were going, you had a bunch of people that worked under you, handling different tasks, and you kind of were responsible and overseeing all the, so to speak, logistics of all the operations that were you involved in?
Firm.
Okay. Yeah.
I would, usually there was about 20 to 30 people I took care of, and we handled the logistics, the ordering, the purchasing, the accountable section, communication, basically that portion of the team.
Okay, and that was on at a cleanup type of scenario you were involved in, right?
No, we were a response division, so it could be anything, any event that falls into the ESF, the Emergency Service Functions of DHS, Department of Homeland Security.
Oh, okay. Well, let me ask you this. After the World Trade Center came down, when did you start being involved with that? How soon after that?
We were about 20 minutes after the first building came down, we were activated. I flew out after all airports were shut down. I had a flight out of Metro Airport, which was escorted by Apache helicopter and 2 jets on takeoff, and until we got in the air, and then we were escorted by 3 jets flying from DTW to LaGuardia, and over Cleveland we changed out the 3 and got 3 new jets, and they flew in with us all the way into until we landed. And then we had Apaches and air flights overhead the whole time while that we were there.
So you were involved even in the rescue immediately thereafter in implementing a lot of that too?
Yeah, we were there for federal assets. There was a lot of federal agencies there, and we were there to support them. So, yeah, I was there. Like I said, I did 21 days on the first tour, and then we were sent home. I came back again about a month later and did a 30-day tour, and then got transferred out. And then I did a close-up operation, the mop-up of all the federal assets and retrieving everything over.
Okay, yeah, that's, oh my goodness, yeah, that had to be I don't know, that's not one of your favorite job titles, being in a scenario like that where all those people lost their lives, and they're in there with dogs trying to find people, and that's definitely not one that many people want to be involved with.
W8GB, WB8R and Y. Well, our team is 140. There's 3,000 of us stationed across the United States when I was involved, and the team that I was involved in had 140 people involved, male and female, all ages.
Yeah, not to mention all the local, fire and rescue and all the other government agencies involved. So, it was definitely a massive operation that everybody had to coordinate with each other, right?
Well, that's what we're there for. We're the coordination agency for the federal assets.
So you guys basically had to control the whole thing and disperse the activities as needed to who it's needed to be done by, right?
Well, theoretically, But if you ever worked with any federal agency, you know each agency does its own thing. You can't tell any of the agencies what to do.
Yeah, well, only and my only belief would be if you have to deal with governmental agencies, you might as well take 5 steps back and 1 step forward.
Well, yep. You learn over the years how to handle them, and you got people that want stuff now, and or people that don't return stuff, and you send federal officers to their workplace or their home and tell them we want those assets back, and we did that a lot. But you know, that's only one incident. We did Katrina, we did Andrew, we did Charlie, we did Francis, Ivan. I mean, all the Florida hurricanes. Hurricane season I just hated because I knew I would spend 60 days a year out during hurricane season.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I guess you were going from home most of the time. And you did that for how many years?
25.
Yeah, well, it's probably kind of nice to be at home now, huh?
Well, yeah, you miss it, you don't miss it. You know, you miss the camaraderie and the friends. I mean, the wife got calls from people, and they would say who they were and say, can you tell me where Jerry is? And she would tell them, no, I can't. And he goes, well, the friend that needed to get a hold of me, he said, I know there was a package that he gave you, and it tells you exactly the contact number, and that's what I'm trying to get a hold of. She didn't know who it was, and I happened to be working his area at the time. I was working the Houston flood, and it was the head of the Texas Rangers, and I'd worked with this guy many times over the years, and we established a good friendship, and he knew I was in the area, and they wanted to find me and get together, and she couldn't tell him, and she goes, oh, I'll call his office in Washington. We'll find out where he's at. When I got home, she told me what happened. I said, yeah, I heard about it. Along with some other comments I couldn't repeat.
Yeah, very good. Well, yeah, that would have to be a, now that you kind of expounded on it a little bit, that definitely had to be a tough time, all them years and that traveling, and the same situation, basically, disaster. Never went to picnics and things like that. It was always a disaster, and dealing with the disaster. But I'm sure it makes you better at your job. I know being a service manager with the BMW, it taught me a lot of how to deal with problems, and they were typically, you had to have answers right now or yesterday. So you had to train yourself to know to make the best decision in the most, equitable way and cost-effective, as well as in replacement or repair, whichever it may be. So after a while, about a year and a half, my cohort that I worked with that did a similar thing, but a different product line with the company, he was involved strictly with the pulverizers, and I was pretty much covering everything else. And for a while, he was doing the same job as I was until I was on board. Somebody's getting plenty with their tape recorder. At any rate, it took about a year and a half, and he said, and he dialed it right in. He said, after about 18 months, you're going to have seen all the issues you're ever going to see. And because of that year and a half it takes to see all them different problems, and knowing how to solve them and what you have to do to get them corrected, then it's going to be a piece of cake. He said you'll be able to just do it in your sleep. And that's pretty much the way it worked out. About a year and a half later, up to the point I kind of got bored. You know, at first I looked at it as like a game or challenge.